Representative Josh Hernandez. He is running unopposed and running for re-election at the same time.
Yay.
So it's great to have you with us, Josh.
Thank you for having me.
As many have been listening or watching, we have been doing candidate forums today, but yours is a little bit different because you're running unopposed.
Yes, sir.
So I thought we'd talk about a couple different questions that are out there that are concerning the upcoming legislature.
Yeah.
As well as affecting your district and all of Sandoval County. So that being said, first thing I want to talk about here is we're in the beautiful Career Technical Education Facility here at Rancho. Newly acquired, expected to open next year.
Yeah.
Challenge is New Mexico really doesn't fund for CTE.
This is true.
And what are your thoughts around that, and how can we make that a little bit different?
So, I mean, first of all, what a wonderful program. This last year, myself and Senator Brandt gave what will end up being about $800,000 to this project. But, the reality is it's not nearly enough. We need lots of millions more. So myself and Senator Brandt and Senator Shendo are working on getting some funding into the budget. This year we have a good amount of extra oil and gas revenue that we need to figure out what to do with through the legislature. What a better program. One of the other things, last year I was one of the co-sponsors of a bill that set up a loan program for charter schools. I would love to work on getting a loan program set up for CTE in the same way. Hobbs opened a CTE center last year, I believe is when it first went live, with money from the legislature, but we need a whole lot more of these around the whole state. So I think that getting it off the ground with a loan program would be probably the easiest way to get it through the legislature to get these going. And then also grant funding from the feds is an opportunity that we can look at in the future, and probably a lot sooner rather than later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about education. So increased teacher pay.
Yep.
So a lot
Very
of money
much
went
needed.
towards that, but yet we continually are ranked 51st. We now fell from 50th to 51st
Right.
in the nation
48 to 51st
in
4 years.
education.
Yeah.
So doesn't seem to be, no matter what money is being thrown to it, it's not improving. What are your thoughts around how we can actually get education turned around in the state?
Well, so education is not 100. You can throw money at any problem, issue, and it doesn't always mean it's going to fix it. We need a few different changes to education on top of, our teachers were one of the lowest funded in the country, which shouldn't be. So I'm glad that they all got raises. I was definitely supportive of that. One, I think that we need more school choice options. When I was going through school, I'm not a sit in a classroom and learn person. I am a visual. I have to feel it. I have to touch it. I have to, in some cases, break it apart and put it back together in order to learn how something works. And if you look at polling from New Mexico, parents, students, they want choices. They want charter schools. They want homeschool options. They want to be able to learn the ways that make sense for them. And I think that the different school choice would be a huge opportunity for a lot of students. I think charter schools are a great program. You can have charter schools like Sabe here that's bilingual. We were talking last night with some people from Colfax County that are looking at doing one that's agriculture based, because that's what's big in their community. You have FFA that's wanting to come in and start doing charter school programs. And so I think that those are options that we really desperately need to look at in order to be able to boost education in New Mexico.
Okay. Thank you. So continuing the discussion here, the State of New Mexico is currently 49th in the nation in labor force rate. Only 56.5% of working age residents are working. That's almost 1 out of 2 residents between the ages of 18 and 65 are working. That being said, have you thought about what the legislature could do to get folks back to work in New Mexico?
You know, I personally, I have not thought of how we get them back, but the reality is that we need to make working more attractive, like getting back to work more attractive. We read a study a few days ago that there's 150,000 people in the metro area that aren't going back to work, mostly women who realized that they were working to pay for childcare. And when COVID came and a lot of people lost their jobs, they realized that staying home, they could stay home and provide childcare because all they were doing was paying for childcare. And so there was no benefit for them to get back into the workforce. And that's just a small section of people, but 150,000 people is a lot of people. And I mean, you see it everywhere, as the previous candidate said. You go to a restaurant and it's hard to get served, but it's also contributing to our supply chain issues. It's contributing to everything as we come into this COVID or continue in this COVID recovery phase. And we I don't know what the answer is. I'll be completely honest. I have no problem saying that. I don't know what the problem is or what the answer is. Sorry. But it's something that we desperately need to look at. And as I'm sitting up here thinking about it, I think that a more business-friendly climate is to bring jobs here, to bring more to jobs that people actually want to work and would be more proud to work, would be something that would be a huge benefit.
Very good, thank you. So let's talk.
If you'd like to, if he'll let you.
So let's continue on for one more.
If not, let's
one
talk.
more item, then we can come back to that question. Is when it comes to public safety in New Mexico, in the Albuquerque area, there are 200 gangs, and of those 200 gangs, they have 15,000 members of gangs.
That's a
which is
ridiculous
a huge number, which is astonishing. I know you represent Rio Rancho and Sandoval County, but it's going to be a focal area of the legislature this year. We have to turn this around as a state. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely, crime is going to be one of the top issues in the legislature, or at least I'm really hoping that it is. Last year, I was a sponsor on a bill that ended up getting wrapped into another omnibus crime bill that brought $100 million for the retention and attraction of police officers throughout the state. And, you know, we got the money, but now the individual cities, counties need to use that money to bring in and retain their police forces, which hasn't really started to happen yet. You know, here in Rio Rancho, we have an amazing police force. We have an amazing fire department that, you know, all of us elected officials have been supportive of. And I understand why cops are coming up from Albuquerque to Rio Rancho. We have, you know, less crime. We are more supportive. It's hard to be a cop in Albuquerque. I work downtown Albuquerque, and I've seen people just be horrendously awful to the foot patrols in downtown. And who wants to go and put your life on the line to protect people that you don't know and just get beat up and harassed every day? And so I think that there needs to be a shift in residents and how they view and treat police officers before we're going to have any chance of having a police force that's staffed in certain areas of our state.
Okay, thank you. Sir, what was that question you had?
Yeah.
The workforce,
Yeah.
Yeah, the workforce, why individuals, childcare, they need more money.
I,
They need higher wages.
sorry,
That's
let me microphone. Yeah, I could see that.
So the question was,
sorry.
is reiterating back to a comment that you had made previously for those listening and watching. The question was around women in the workforce. It has been a challenge with childcare.
Yeah.
And the cost of childcare, but also obtaining childcare. So they have a number of women have fell out of the workforce. So question is how do you fix that?
Right. So I mean, to get to your point, I think the amount of inflation that we've had, everything's getting more expensive. That's childcare, that's groceries, that's everything. So yes, everybody's struggling right now, or a good amount of people in our state are struggling right now with inflation, and that's everything, childcare included. And so your comment that they need to make more money is true, but that's of everybody right now with the inflation rates. I mean, mortgages are going up with the interest rates getting hiked over and probably over again. Groceries are at an all-time high, or at least an all-time recent high. Gas is going down, but still a lot higher than it was a year or two ago. A lot of people are struggling. And so, yes, your comment is completely correct that they need to make more money, but find me a person right now, a normal person right now, that doesn't say that they need to make more money to be able to keep a roof over their heads and food on their table.
Thank you, Representative Hernandez, and appreciate your time today. You are again running unopposed.
Yes,
So that being said, we look forward to you in the legislature and the efforts that you'll make for Rio Rancho and Sandoval County in 2023.
Thank you so much.